Crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I'm here with a card for the current Cat Scrappiness challenge. So Cat Scrappiness has a mood board challenge, and I believe the prize is a $25 gift certificate to the Cat Scrappiness store. And like I mentioned last month, if you know Cat's prices, that's quite a bit of goodies. And so I encourage you to take a look at the mood board and enter. So I am using some distress crayons in, I believe, worn lipstick and spun sugar, and all I'm doing is literally scribbling on some distress crayon. And eventually it's going to create just a pretty pink watercolory looking background, but one of the reasons to try to do it with the distress crayon instead is because the crayon doesn't smooth out perfectly, and so you will actually get a little bit of that look of the scribbles underneath. You get this like really subtle pattern. I'm going to spritz it with my distress sprayer, but any spray would do. Really, I'm just trying to get it moist so that I can move around the ink. And as you see, distress crayon will move with your finger with friction, and it doesn't create a perfectly smooth blend. You can see that texture of the scribbles underneath, and I personally really liked that. Then I'm going to spray over it with just some clear shimmer spray just to add a bit of sparkle, because I knew that I was going to be adding eventually some gold into this card, so there was going to be some shimmer anyway. If you look at the mood board, it's mostly different versions of pink, which is why I have a pretty monochromatic card, but there are some elements of gold which I'm going to take advantage of as well. I found that when I spritzed my shimmer spray while the panel was still pretty wet, it didn't get much shimmer, probably because it was sort of watered down by the water. So I just dried it and spritzed it again to make sure that I liked what was going on, and then I was ready to move on to the next step. So I'm going to add even more texture by running this through an embossing folder, but first I wanted to cut out a heart because I thought I was going to do a just a heart frame and maybe keep the other heart for something else. I actually really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I just knew that I wanted there to be a heart involved because of the sort of Valentine love look of the mood board, although it definitely lends itself to non-Valentine cards. And so I wanted to cut that heart out before I embossed, because if you die cut after you emboss, then you can sort of smush out the embossing because you are running it through the machine again under high pressure. So I used a We Are Memory Keeper's Next Level Geometric embossing folder, and I put the die cut back into it so that way it would get the die cutting on both pieces. My thought process was I might not use these together, but if I put the embossing on both pieces of the die cut, then I will have two elements and I could possibly even make two cards. To really bring out the embossing and to add that touch of gold on just the heart, because at this point I honestly thought I might only use the heart, what I did was I took a distress crayon in, I think it's the brass one, the tarnished brass, and I just put it on the raised parts of the embossing so that it added a like shine and highlight there. Once I had finished that up, I wanted to give it a bit more definition from the background because I didn't like them layered into each other, and that's why, again, I wasn't sure if I wanted to use them together, but I decided they would look great together if I just cut the heart smaller. So I went back to my Cat Scrappiness double-stitched hearts, and I cut the heart even smaller, and then this time there will be a white border around it, but I also wanted to add back that definition on the edges, so I took the tarnished brass distress crayon and just added a bit to the edges, and of course it was already on the raised areas. And then I won't do that technique to the background just so that they look a little bit different and it adds a pop of gold. So next up, I wanted to add a little bit of a little critter to my scene, but I knew that it should stay pink looking at the mood board. I mean, you don't have to adhere perfectly to a monochromatic, but there was so much pink on the mood board. I thought I wanted a pink critter. And there's not a lot of pink critters in the world, but dinosaurs can be colored really whatever color you want, partly because we don't know what color they were, and also because, you know, they're just, it's fun. A dinosaur is not a true real thing that when you look at, like if you color I don't know, maybe a bunny pink, it might look kind of funny. Although I do that because I colored a bunny purple in my last video. So, you know, do it, float your boat. But anyway, I'm coloring this Lawn Fawn dinosaur from the Rawr stamp set. I'm using Arteza Real Brush markers. I actually won these recently and I was really excited to try them. I did recently get the Zig markers after resisting them for a long time, and then about a month after I bought them, I won the Artezas, and they are really similar. I don't know that I would have chose to have both if I hadn't won these, but they do blend really well together, just marker to marker, but you can also blend them out with water because they're water-based. They have a real brush nib, so that's, you know, like a real hairs on the end of it, which allow you to get into fine spaces. The 96 pack, which is what I won, is a brand new pack that includes a whole bunch of colors, and Amazon, you can get it on Amazon or you can get it directly from Arteza. They do run some different specials, so if it's something that you're interested in, it is a better value than the Zigs, and so far as my first impression, they are pretty similar. You can blend marker to marker just like Zigs. You can blend out with the water brush just like Zigs. I did find that personally here I blended a little too much. I'm used to Copics and the very smooth blended look they give, but watercolor or water-based markers don't traditionally do that. So I think that I just, you know, I'm trying to get used to the markers, and so I over blended, but you could get a more defined look similar to, you know, really leaving your light spots light and your dark spots dark, which mine kind of looks all one color now. It's a little bit varied in real life. To add another pop of gold, I decided to go in with my Letter It gold marker from Ranger, just to add a pop of gold to the little scales on his back. And I thought that I just wanted to, because I only had the gold in one place, and I kept, you know, after I would add something, I was like, oh, I think I need a bit more gold. I think I need a bit more gold. So you'll kind of see that that continues to happen throughout the video. And again, because I wanted some more gold, I'm going to gold emboss the sentiment, and I'm going to stamp it on white. I thought about trying it on pink, but I just felt like there was already a lot of pink going on in the card, and that the gold would not look as pretty against a pink. So I just picked some gold embossing powder that I have in my collection. I've accumulated a few over the years, and I don't use it enough to necessarily have a favorite, but this one did a pretty good job. My sentiment is from the Lawn Fawn Rawr set, as well as the Lawn Fawn How You Bean Conversation Hearts add-on, and I did that because I wanted it to say Rawr means Happy Valentine's Day in Dinosaur instead of Rawr means I love you in Dinosaur, just so that I could use this card for a wider variety of people. When I cut these strips, at first I thought that I had cut them narrow enough, but ultimately they weren't, because I really wanted to kind of reserve the sentiment for the bottom right-hand corner there, but my sentiment strips were a little thick for that. So I thought, oh, I'll just cut them with my scissors, except for that I can't cut straight. And so these are going to be a little bit wonky. One suggestion would be to just sort of own that and purposely make things look wonky instead of trying to make them look straight. You know, make it a little bit more playful, as that does suit this card design and the sort of cutesiness of the card design. But I did try to go back and fix those up a little bit. So I have those sentiment strips. As you can see, I just sort of cut the ends on an angle. Those are intentionally angled there, just in case you thought that was more of my sloppiness. I actually tried to, you know, add a little bit of interest by doing that. And then here again is that last little like, I think I need just one more touch of gold. So I'm going to go to the Cat Scrappiness Hearts O'Plenty sequins, and inside of them there's a lot of different colors of hearts, so it makes for a really fun sequin mix for a shaker card. But this time I just wanted a few gold, so I picked out 3 gold and I placed them in a little visual triangle around the dinosaur, and I popped up the heart with some foam tape as well as the dinosaur. And that's it for my card today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in more crafting tutorials, be sure to subscribe to my channel. As mentioned, this is for the Cat Scrappiness challenge, and you can win a $25 gift certificate. They also, there'll be a coupon code in the video description if you want to pick up some Cat Scrappiness products. I do believe they're having a Valentine's sale very soon, so be sure to check that out, as well as their current Prima clearance. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye.